Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to this little discussion that I want to do on Ben Affleck, the best and worst of Ben Affleck. Now, these are the movies that I actually picked out, and it's at random, so really there's no top 10, there's not top 5. This is just a little discussion that I felt like I wanted to do because I felt like Ben Affleck is just one of those actors that progressed and got better as time went on. And he was even one of the other actors that I was actually second guessing when he came onto the acting scene, just like I did with Leonardo DiCaprio. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to put my best and worst Leonardo DiCaprio movies into the link below. But this is just something that I just wanted to actually talk about. So the very first movie that I actually saw him in was the movie Phantoms. I actually thought Phantoms was actually a pretty decent horror movie for what it was in the '90s, and I actually enjoyed it for what it was. It was fun. It was campy. It was also something that you didn't have to take seriously. It was just one of those movies that you can actually enjoy for a horror flick. And I didn't really think that Ben Affleck was actually going to be one of these top actors. I actually thought he was going to be one of those actors that was actually going to fade away. Boy, was I wrong. But I actually enjoyed him in that movie, and then I also liked him in um I also liked him in that other movie with him and Matt Damon, and that movie was matter of fact that movie was actually pretty good. It had Robin Williams in it. It also had it was actually a serious role for him, and I actually felt like he stood out, even though he was kind of like a side character in a way. But still, it was a good movie, and that movie is Goodwill Hunting. And man, it just showed his acting chops as a supporting actor. Because at first you realize, this guy can actually act. He can actually carry his own and certain things. And then, I actually felt like he did very good with that, considering the fact he was only a supporting character rather than being on the screen, rather than him being a main character. And you can actually feel the compassion that he has as a friend towards Matt Damon. You actually see the friendship there and let it build. There's an emotional attachment to the character. You actually are glued into what these characters are. And whenever the ending for Goodwill Hunting comes, you actually feel happy for Matt Damon's character, and you also feel like there's a lot of happiness towards Ben Affleck's character too, because it's something that he's always wanted for his friend, and that's something I really enjoyed about that movie. Then I also have to go into some of his other stuff too. Mallrats was another good one. He played a douchebag pretty much in that movie, and that movie was also directed by Kevin Smith. And pretty much, I thought all he was going to be in these movies where he's just playing the same character over and over again. He was just going to be a douchebag towards other characters and stuff like that. I really hoped that he wasn't going to be typecast as that type of person. And I'm kind of late to the Ben Affleck thing, anyways. Back in 2010, whenever that other movie came out called The Town, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute. And I'm like, okay, Ben Affleck, he was pretty good in Mallrats. I felt like he was very good in it. He played the douchebag kind of rich guy, trying to scheme people. I got that right off the bat. Now let's fast forward a little bit and talk about this. Once Daredevil came out, pretty much everybody was bashing him as an actor, and I was one of those people in the boat. But still, even though Daredevil was a bad movie, it wasn't necessarily Ben Affleck's fault. It was just the cards that he was dealt because he had his script that he was doing, and he had to do what he had to do to get the job done. And even having an actor in a bad movie, he can give the best performance that he can, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the movie's actually going to be good because he's trying to carry it for these other people. But the script was bad in its own way, and Daredevil's actually one of the worst movies that I've ever seen for Ben Affleck. But I'm not going to steal that spotlight just yet. I just wanted to talk about that. And the movie that actually sold me on Ben Affleck was The Town. The Town was one of my favorite movies. He directed it, he starred in it, and not only that, but he's also filmed it in Boston. Hey, that's where I'm from. And I actually felt like it was a very good movie. You had action all the way through it. You also had a little romance, love interest type deal, but nothing to actually take you out of the movie itself. And not only that, but Jeremy Renner was actually really good in that movie. And I love movies that have heists, a little bit of mobster type feel to it. And it was just action packed all the way through. You actually felt the connection with these characters. You actually felt like they were good friends doing these heist jobs together. And then they wind up getting caught in the whole entire act or whatever, where they're actually having to find out ways to actually get out of what they're doing. Um, I felt like this movie was very good. It was very it impacted me through this whole entire thing. I was very entertained. I was fun with watching the town. As a matter of fact, even the director's cut's just as good as the original cut of the movie. And if you haven't seen that movie, treat yourself to that movie because that movie is very good. Even if you're not a Ben Affleck fan, you might end up liking this movie too because the action is there. Everything that you want in an action movie is there for you to grasp on, and it doesn't have a slow build to this movie at all. It actually has a fast build. You're actually glued into the character as soon as the movie starts. You understand that this is going to be a bank robbery and everything, and then they're trying to rob this bank, and then they go on from there. Another movie that I actually want to mention too that I actually enjoyed, and this is also another movie he directed and Casey Affleck was in, and that movie is Gone Baby Gone, and it's about this guy who, this wife loses her kid. She's wondering where her kid is and everything. So they go through the whole entire thing. Even Morgan Freeman's in this movie, wondering the whole entire time, where's the kid? Is the kid dead? Is the kid not dead? What is going on with this kid? And there's this whole mystery behind it. And Casey Affleck is trying his best to actually try and find out what's happening with the kid, where the kid is, and it's actually a great movie. But the ending itself in that movie, I felt like, I was very mad with the main character of this movie. And the fact is, it was like the character just didn't care about anything but her own selfish reasons. And if you haven't seen that movie, I would recommend you go see it because you're gonna actually see what I mean. Because I was really ticked off with that character for the way she acted after everything that went through this whole entire 2.5 hour movie. And then it was like, I just don't care. It was like very selfish towards her in the end. So that's how I feel about that. Then Batman versus Superman is also another good one. I really enjoyed this movie, even though the ending was choppy and stuff like that. That didn't take away the fact that Ben Affleck knocked it out of the park as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He did a fantastic job as Batman and stuff like that. If you haven't seen the extended cut, I recommend watching the extended cut and not the theatrical cut because the theatrical cut you can actually tell that it's like a lot of bad editing. With this full cut thing, it's fantastic. I have to say. Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I believe that he was Bruce Wayne. I believe he was Batman, taking down these vigilantes. And he gave his performance. He was a knockout performance. Him playing Batman and Bruce Wayne. I had no complaints with his performance at all as Batman or Bruce Wayne itself. And, just how action-packed it was. It was very well done. It was very well written. Zack Snyder actually did a good job with the extended cut. And hey, it's subjective. I know people are not going to like the fact that I like this movie, but hey, I'm calling it what it is. A spade is a spade, and I actually enjoy this movie. So if you don't like it, I don't care. Then I also want to get into the other movies that I actually like, which was Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl was very good. It was also directed by Kevin Smith. He directed it for his father. He doesn't like this movie at all, but actually, you can actually tell that Ben is a serious actor in this movie. He's actually interacting with his little girl in this movie, and it makes you care about his character towards his daughter in this movie too. And George Carlin is in this movie as the grandfather. And what I love about this movie is the relationship between the father and daughter. And he's trying his best to give it his all to take care of his kid and to provide for his kid, to want the best things in life for his kid and stuff like that. And he's just going through an emotional time between whenever he lost his wife, giving birth to his daughter. And to me, I was actually saddened by that whole entire scene when you see that part because I was glued into that character, and it was just very sad to actually see that happen, to see that character go, to see that character die off. And it was, I have to say, it was a great emotional attachment to that character, to where I actually cared about it. But then another thing is, so Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter's in this movie, and she winds up being Ben Affleck's love interest. She did a very good job. I felt like the chemistry between them two worked. And I felt like Ben wasn't just doing it for a paycheck rather than he was moving into his character. Just like he was with the town and just like was directing with Argo. Well, not Argo, my bad. But let me talk about Argo. I went back after I watched the town and I watched Argo. Argo is a knockout. if you haven't seen Argo, it's very suspenseful. It's based on a true story about this guy. They actually have to try and rescue these people that are being held hostage. It's based on a true story, and they actually have to make out the fact that they are actors and directors that is called Argo, and try and get these people safely back on the aircraft. And the whole entire time you're watching this movie, you're rooting into these characters, you actually care about them. There's nothing that's out of place about these characters. And you're hoping that these characters are going to be able to get back to the United States because of the fact that the stuff that they're going through. And Ben sold it all the way through the story. Goodman's in this movie, Simmons is in this movie. Everything about this movie is just fantastic. I love seeing Hollywood behind this, even it's like fake. Even though the fake movie that Ben Affleck was supposed to be with these other characters, I actually like that little feel where it's Argo, where you're actually basing this thing around a fake thing that's going to be happening. But man, it's just a good movie all the way up. The dialogue is good. Everything about this movie was good. It's so suspenseful. I can't think nothing about Argo. Argo was great in the movie. It also helped Ben win the best director award too. At the Golden Globes, I think. So, Ben's been knocking it out of that. Now, I've been talking a lot of positive about all those movies I mentioned. Now I'm going to get into some of these big ones. Number one, and everything on the list is, of course, it's going to be Geely. Geely goes back whenever Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez was going out and everything, and leaving the movie. And that movie just was bad. The dialogue was bad. The acting was bad. The chemistry that was with them with Jersey Girl was not in this movie at all. You can tell Ben was not even liking being in this movie. He didn't even try in this movie. And I felt like this was just a horrible movie altogether, and I just didn't understand the whole concept of this movie. So, really, Julie, sorry, but that's just a downer altogether. It didn't even go to the box office. I want to see it. Then I also have to put down, to be honest with you, I'm going to put down another movie that he made, and that movie is called Harbor. With him and Josh Hartnett. I didn't understand why they had to put a love interest in this movie at all. Michael Bay with his explosions and his cheap special effects and everything else that was put into this movie. It didn't even have a love interest. The whole entire principle of this whole entire deal was China was getting ready to drop bombs on the U.S. in Hawaii. All you had to do was one job only. It was a good action movie where these people are trying to survive and then they're trying to get back home. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to throw in this love interest or anything like that. But it was a 2.5-hour movie at boredom that I can't get back. And it's just a bad movie. The dialogue wasn't even there. I don't even see why people were being angry about this movie when it came out. And I just didn't care about it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to say what it is. Pearl Harbor was just a bad movie. And I wish that it wasn't a bad movie, so I could rave about it, but it was bad. Then after that, I'm going to have to go into the movie Paycheck. Paycheck was a bad movie. You can definitely tell Ben wasn't getting his own. You can tell that it was just there. Clearly, pun intended, for a paycheck. He was just doing these movies just to be doing them. He wasn't happy with them. It seems like he was just there just to be there, trying to get something going. And there was nothing there to begin with. And therefore, Paycheck was a bad movie. Dialogue was bad. Bad acting. I didn't care for it. But I thought the movie theaters. Then, let me go on ahead and tell you, Runner. I'm a big poker fan. I'm a big fan of poker with heights in it. I'm a big fan of when it comes to hacking, certain things with hacking and stuff like that. That's taking place or stuff. I love stuff like that. That was a total bad. It wasn't Vince's fault or anything. It was just the script itself that was getting it and you signed there on paper. And I just didn't care for it. And I wanted to actually see what he was going to do and everything with this because I was thinking that maybe he was going to try and do something. Because I was actually thinking it was like any Bruce Wayne type movies in that movie where I can actually say it was the best Bruce Wayne. But still, Of course, you already know that actually that number two. There's no reason to actually go into that type thing again. But Runner Runner was a bad movie, and I just didn't care about the movie. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about Justin Timberlake trying to be the good guy, and then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, it's like the whole entire plot was against Ben Affleck. I didn't care about it. So, that was one of those movies I was just fan. Daredevil was on the list. And here's why. It's not going to do with Ben, because Ben was just doing his job as an actor to be able to serve whatever he has to serve. But, man, that was just a bad script. It was just a bad thing altogether. I'll also say this, if you wanted to take out that playground scene with him and Jennifer Garner, the movie would be a whole lot better, in my opinion. And I also felt like the dialogue was really bad. Michael Beckin really did a good job in his life, and did a good job in his life. But it was just a horrible piece of crap movie that I really didn't care about. But that's pretty much all that I have to say about those movies and stuff like that. And, it's nothing against Ben Affleck, because I believe you work your way up in this world, not work your way up and stay up. Your job is to work your way from the job you do. You have to work from the bottom and work your way up to the top. And that's what I feel like some of these actors do, DiCaprio and Ben Affleck did. And now look at them, their careers now. Ben Affleck's doing a good job directing. You also have Justice League coming out. You also have a Batman movie about Ben Affleck coming out. So really, you have a great actor and director all together with Ben Affleck. I trust in him and his work. I'm also going to go on another thing before I close. Gone Girl is another good movie that he's done. That's an honorable mention. The girl that he's married to is a total psychotic. And way out there in the field, just like he is in this movie. And you actually feel the fact that this girl is out to get him, and his wife is out to get him, and she wants revenge on him. And you actually feel bad for Ben. And then sometimes you're also questioning yourself, did you really kill her? What happened there and there? But still, it was a good movie. He gave a great performance for Gone Girl. If you haven't seen Gone Girl, check it out. I believe you're going to love it. So, with that being said, comment below. What was your best and worst movie for Ben Affleck? And tell me what you think. I mean, do you like my list? What do you like about my list? And not only that, but subscribe below, share this video if you like this video. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And until next time.